Hey guys, with the Breaker release just around the corner, a lot of people are wondering what classes they should make with a new Power Pass coming with this update. And today, I wanted to help by giving you my thoughts on what I think the best classes are in the meta at the moment. I'm going to break it down into three categories: accessibility, utility, and damage. And I'm going to suggest two classes for each of these categories. That way, I can cover as many playstyles and preferences as possible. The one caveat is that while there is a damage category, every single class that I will suggest today will do pretty respectable damage. So any of these classes will be a good choice for the inner Goblino inside of all of you. I also won't be mentioning any supports in this video as the choice is pretty obvious. If you want to play a support, just make one, and you can't really go wrong with any of them. So I'm just going to be recommending DPS classes on this list. Additionally, I'm not going to mention Breaker either, because I'm sure anybody who's making a Breaker will likely not be needing help from this video anyways. It's a new class, it's a really strong class, and I always recommend making the newest class if you're interested, because they're usually a really good choice for most people. So with that out of the way, let's dive into this list. When it comes to accessibility, these are classes that I feel would be suitable for anybody in the game to pick up. Whether you're a brand new player or a player who has played the game for over 8,000 hours, these classes are simply easy to pick up, fun to play, and as a result will allow you the freedom to think about and hone your basic understanding of how to DPS well in Lost Ark. The first class I would recommend in this category is the Wind Fury Aeromancer. The Wind Fury Aeromancer is an extremely fun to play class that brings a ton to the table. On top of being a crit synergy for your party, your identity skill also reduces the amount of damage that the enemy can do. As a Wind Fury Aeromancer, you will definitely be an amazing asset to any raid that you participate in. There are a few reasons why I would consider this class a strong candidate for the accessibility category. The first reason being that it's a crit swift class, which means that your accessories will be fairly inexpensive. Additionally, this class is also a Hitmaster class, meaning that there is a ton of flexibility in the way that you approach each and every fight that you choose to participate in. And lastly, the most important reason why I would recommend this class overall is because there is a ton of flexibility to the builds that you can use for this class to suit your needs. From the easy to play full hallucination build to the high ceiling and high APM full swift domination or full crit nightmare build, this class has a variety of playstyles to suit your desires. The next class that I'll recommend for the accessibility category is the Predator Slayer. This will definitely not come as a surprise to anyone, as this is likely one of the most recommended classes for anyone who is looking to pick up the game for the first time. On top of its relatively high damage ceiling, this class also has a fairly high damage floor as well, given its straightforward playstyle. While you are an entropy class and will be chasing that back, I feel that this class is likely the best class for anyone to pick up to learn how to play a positional class, because for the most part, you can do very respectable damage just by spamming skills towards the back of the boss without worrying about any sort of rotation. Additionally, if you end up wanting to go for a higher ceiling and higher skill cap playstyle, you can always swap over to the Punisher engraving as well, which will really give you that challenge that you desire. As for the utility category, these are classes that I believe bring a ton to the party in both the damage department and the support department. These are classes that I would recommend to anyone who is looking to not just be a DPS bot, but also looking to help their teammates perform better as well. The first class that I would recommend in this category is the Pinnacle Glaivier. I have covered this class extensively in the past and even have a full review for it if you haven't seen it already. But in my opinion, the Pinnacle Glaivier is probably the most well-rounded class in the game because not only does it do great damage, but it also provides a ton to the party as well. Being the only class in the game that provides the damage on crit hit synergy, this class will be highly desired in any raid setting. Additionally, they bring two counters to the table, and their stagger and destruction are nothing to sneeze at as well. If you're looking for a very flexible DPS class that'll carry their own weight in terms of damage and support, this class may be the class for you. The second class that I would recommend for this category is Lone Knight Gunlancer. With the ability to call upon an enormous shield for itself on command, this class is definitely the tankiest class in the game. And while this class isn't the strongest class when it comes to damage, the numbers it can put out can definitely be surprising, and if played well, this class outperforms a large number of other DPSs in the game as well. But while damage isn't quite the area that this class shines the most, the Gun Lancer likely provides the best utility of any class in the game outside of the supports, the Paladin, the Artist, and the Bard. Much like Glavier, the Gun Lancer also has 2 counters in its kit, but in addition to that, you also have the ability to provide shields, damage reduction, and cleanse to your entire party. The Gun Lancer is also equipped with one of the most unique abilities in the game, a taunt. While this taunt is not able to interrupt the attacks of Legion commanders, it allows you to interrupt most enemies' attacks and stop them from moving for a few seconds, allowing your other DPS to dish out as much damage as possible during this window. Additionally, this taunt will also provide your party with a synergy that'll boost the damage of any entropy class in the game, making basically any and all positional classes fall in love with you. And the last category, the one that you've all been waiting for, but it's also likely not going to be surprised by the choices that I'm going to make, is the damage category. Simply put, which classes would I recommend to pick if you're just looking to pump big numbers? The first class that I would recommend has to be the Surge Deathblade. With the most recent balance patch, it definitely wouldn't be an understatement to say that the Surge Deathblade went to the moon. It is currently the strongest class in the game by a wide margin, and it's not even close. But it's also one of the hardest classes to play in the game as well. Surge has always been a relatively hard class to play, but now not only is it a class that needs to worry about when to surge, but you're also a high APM class because the changes made it so that the surge stacks no longer have an internal cooldown. You're now able to accumulate surge stacks as quickly as your skills can hit, which has done wonders for the damage output of this class, but as a result, the skill cap for this class has gone up immensely. But if you want to play a class that absolutely shreds any and every content in the game, I would highly recommend taking a look at the Surge Deathblade. And the last class that I'll recommend today, and the last class in the damage category as well, is definitely the Soul Eater. And I would recommend both engravings, the Full Moon Harvester and the Night's Edge Soul Eater. Full Moon Harvester is very much akin to the Igniter Sorceress, and the Night's Edge Soul Eater is a bit of a mix between Demonic Shadow Hunter and Deathblow Striker. While the two classes do differ in their playstyle, both classes share one thing in common, and that's the fact that they're extremely powerful. While neither of them are as strong as the Surge Deathblade, the skill required to play these two classes is exponentially lower, and as a result, it'll be much more forgiving to new players who are newer to the class itself, and also, on average, this class will be performing much more consistently than that of the Surge Deathblade. So there we go. These are the classes that I would recommend anybody try out for the next Power Pass, coming in the middle of March. Now, while I only mentioned a couple of classes on this list, it doesn't mean that there are not other classes that are great in this game as well. It's simply that these are the classes that I think perform the best in the categories that I've listed, and the classes that I would recommend most players making. If you have another class that you want to make that's not on this list, definitely go for it. I always advocate for people to make the class that makes them feel happy and the class that they feel the most comfortable with playing. So there we go. Let me know down in the comment section below if this video was helpful, if you're going to make any of these classes, or if not, what class are you going to be making for the next Power Pass? Also, special thanks to Mini Rin aka 5head Rin for letting me use clips from her stream to show off the Aeromancer and the Slayer classes, as I don't currently play those classes in my roster. She's a good friend of mine, and I'll leave a link to her Twitch stream down in the description below. So please go ahead and check her out if you're looking for some fun gameplay. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please remember to hit the like button, hit the sub button, ring the bell for notifications, and also, I stream every single night on twitch.tv/MisoXShiru starting at 10 p.m. PST. So hopefully I see you guys on my stream, but if not, hopefully I'll see y'all on the next video. Alright guys, peace out.